Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Tonight we are in East New York, Brooklyn. We're going to be talking about a very recent crime that happened. It was an off-duty cop that was shot in a botched robbery while he was trying to buy a car in a spot many of you may already know from my videos called The Hole on the border of Brooklyn and Howard Beach. You guys could argue exactly where it is in the comments. We're going to go to exactly where this crime happened, so let's flip this around and get into it. The address that we're going to is 472 Ruby Street. That's where this incident happened. It happened February 4th, 2023, 6:50 p.m. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. I post on there pretty much every single day. Any crime scene photos that can't go on YouTube end up on the Instagram, so check that out. Also, don't forget to leave suggestions for future videos in the comments. I very much appreciate that. I get a lot of inspiration that way. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can see exactly when I post a new video. Alright, directly to my right is the 7-5 precinct, the infamous 7-5 precinct. Oh look, there's cameras outside here now. I wonder for what? Maybe for the same incident. This is where this plays a role later in this video. We'll cut back to that later, don't worry about it. Okay, so Saturday night, this all went down. The 5-year NYPD veteran, 26-year-old Adeed Fayaz, was looking to buy a car, so he searched on Facebook Marketplace and found the car he was looking for. He was looking for a Honda Pilot. He found what he wanted. They were originally set to meet on Friday, but Adeed ended up not feeling well, so they postponed until the next day. So they planned to meet on the Saturday, and Adeed was serious about buying the car. They spoke about the price. They spoke about $24,000. At about 6:50 p.m., Adeed shows up to this desolate block with his brother-in-law to check out the car. They both came in separate cars. Normally when you go to buy a car, you bring another person just in case you buy it. Someone could drive home, whatever. He also maybe had a feeling that he had money on him, whatever. He wanted someone there to watch his back in case anything happened. Considering the area that we're going to, The Hole is a pretty notoriously bad area, and then East New York in general is not the safest neighborhood. So they pull up, and the seller is 38-year-old Randy Jones. His nickname is Popper, with a P. Alright, you guys should not be crossing, but that's not a problem. He meets them. He seems like a very friendly guy. He leads them down a driveway and jokingly asks the two if they were carrying guns. Both of them reply no, but they were actually lying. Now, for those of you who don't know what it's like buying a car on Facebook Marketplace, you know, you message back and forth. Maybe you don't even speak on the phone, so he probably didn't get a feel of what the guy was like, and he shows up to buy the car. Facebook Marketplace is pretty much the current replacement for Craigslist. Craigslist is still around, but it's not used as much as Facebook Marketplace. That's the more widely accepted platform now. Randy then puts Adeed into a headlock, pointing a gun at him, demanding money. I believe Adeed says, "I don't have any money." Now, I don't know if that was the truth or if he really didn't go there with any money on him. Adeed then broke free, and Randy shot about 6 times, hitting Adeed in the head. Now, Adeed's brother-in-law, acting very fast, grabs Adeed's gun out of his holster and fires back at Randy. As Randy runs back to his 2011 black BMW, and he speeds away. Now, none of the bullets hit Randy, but it was a good effort on Adeed's brother-in-law's part. Not a lot of people could think like that in a situation like that. Randy then goes on the run. Now, at this point, he's unidentified, at least to the public. Maybe the police had an idea who he was. They find his black BMW on 129th and Park Avenue in Harlem. The car goes back to his mother's name. It was dumped only a few blocks away. Oh, missed my turn. So you know what we're doing? We're doing a reverse. It was dumped only a few blocks away from his most recent address. He lived in Harlem. That is the driver's ed way of what you do when you miss a turn, by the way. Okay, We're right around the block from where this went down. Now, we're pretty much entering the hole. It's the one nice block in the hole. See on the left it says dip right there? Because the hole is about 30 feet lower than the rest of this area, and it's prone to flooding. We'll drive around a little bit after I hop out and show you the scene. I've been here in a video before. I actually had an incident that I'll tell you guys about in a little bit after I go to the scene in the hole. So the husband and father of two, Adeed, is in critical condition, fighting for his life right now as this video is being filmed at Brookdale University Hospital. I'll show you a clip of his family walking to the hospital. Actually looks like this truck right here in the driveway was here during this crime scene. Let me park up here quick. So this is where this went down. You can see how this place could be a little bit eerie. This is how recently this happened. There is the crime scene tape. And this car right here is actually in most of the crime scene footage that I have from news reports. You can see here, this is the more developed part of this area. They're slowly but surely making this area nice. You can actually see down there's a puddle. I don't know if you can see the reflection off the ground. Say hello to the truck. Ignore the rust. So the 911 caller's account of the incident. I believe he was taken down this, when they said alleyway in the reports, I believe it was this driveway.
That's 3 David 2.
So the reports say, I saw a person wearing a black hoodie and gray sweats shooting like he was ducking in front of a car outside my house. It looked like he was shooting back and forth at somebody. He kept shooting. After the last shot, I saw him running towards the McDonald's and I looked away. Now that right there is the McDonald's. I don't know if you can see it. That's the McDonald's. So he ran in that direction, and maybe his car was over there and he hopped in the car to leave. We're gonna hop back in the truck real quick. I'll show you a bunch of footage around this time of this being a crime scene.
Investigators say Jones lured off-duty officer Adeed Fayaz to East New York Saturday under the false pretense of selling him a Honda Pilot he posted to Facebook Marketplace. When Officer Fayaz and his brother-in-law showed up, Jones allegedly asked jokingly if they had a gun. Police say Officer Fayaz was able to break free, but the suspect shoots him in the head, continuing to fire as he ran away.
The officer's brother-in-law removes the firearm from our MOS's hip.
So there was a full-on manhunt for 46 hours. He was not caught. People were kind of watching like hour by hour to see any new developments, if anything new was happening. And finally, February 6th, he was found hiding at a Days Inn in upstate New York, in Rockland County, in a little town called Nanuet, Nanuet. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I'll show you footage of police all around that Days Inn arresting him.
After an exhaustive 2-day manhunt, police surrounded 38-year-old Randy Jones at this Days Inn in Nanuet Monday night, arresting, then hauling the suspected shooter to the 75th precinct for questioning.
He fled, but he could not evade our reach. He was handcuffed by an NYPD detective assigned.
He tracked Jones to Rockland County, where he was hiding with his girlfriend and 5 children. Detectives arrested him using Officer Fayaz's own handcuffs.
So he's arrested in front of his girlfriend and 5 kids. The cuffs that were put on him were actually the cuffs from Adeed. Very cool part of the story. They wanted to really make a statement there. I'll show you a picture of that. Police are now looking into if he was involved in any other Facebook Marketplace robberies, because a couple went on recently around this area. One a few blocks from here, a couple in like Jamaica, Queens. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna drive through the hole just a little bit here before this video is over. I'll give you the last bits of the story while we're driving around this very, very creepy area. And I'll give you my story of what happened to me in the hole. So, Randy is no stranger to being in cuffs. He has 13 prior arrests. Now, this is directly down the road from where this all happened, so you can understand why this was set up to be in this area. And there's a huge puddle over here. I'm going to drive through it. I'm going to drive through it really slow because you don't know what's at the bottom of a puddle. And you don't know how deep it is, really. And my truck's pretty tall. I'm not worried about flooding out, but if you're in a smaller car, you don't have to worry about that. So his arrests include multiple grand larceny charges, criminal contempt, driving without a license, criminal trespass, drug possession, misdemeanor assault, aggravated harassment, and a strangulation in 2014. His criminal history dates back to 2008. Gotta go real slow. You have no idea what kind of potholes or anything is under this water here. There actually used to be a junkyard down here. Many of you may already know there was a bunch of mob bodies buried in the hole. A very famous case of what happened down here. Now, I was doing some research for a video driving through here one night. It was probably around 10 o'clock. Should I have been driving through the hole that hour? Probably not. But I'm driving through, and there's usually no one down here, like you could see. Maybe a car passes you or something like that. And especially as it gets later into the night, nobody really wants to come down here. So, I'm driving, and I see an Infiniti is behind me. And I'm going about this slow, but I'm driving through puddles, so everyone's kind of going this slow. And the person, let's see if I can even go down this road. Yeah, I can. I mean, this is pretty much a swamp. This is nuts. And then across the road, across Linden Boulevard, is a similar situation here. Okay, besides the point. So, the Infiniti comes from behind me, passes me on my left. Now I'm thinking maybe I'm going too slow for them, whatever the case. And then they cut in front of me. And I'm thinking, whoa, now with, there's a bunch of things going through your mind at the time. There's nobody around. I'm the only one down there, and this little Infiniti. So this little Infiniti blocks me off. Now, I just drive like this normally. I start to go around him. Maybe he thought I couldn't go around him, whatever the case. Right when it pulls up in front of me, 2 doors open. Like quickly. Like they're gonna hop out and come to my car. So I quickly speed up, get around them, and shoot away. I'm looking in my rear view like, were they just gonna rob me right now? Like, whoa. That's why we go slow, people. So I'm thinking in my head, were they just gonna rob me right now? I'm looking in my rear view, and they kind of make it like they were pulling up to the curb, and they get out and kind of hang out. Kind of playing it off like they weren't gonna rob me. It was very odd. I've been in some weird situations. That one was pretty weird. And obviously it may have been nothing. I may have not almost been getting robbed. Maybe it was the area that made me think something bad was going to happen. But I kind of know the streets out here, and that's what I assume was going on. So by the time this video comes out, there may be new developments with his health. I hope everything works out for him, of course. He was shot in the head. I don't know how bad it really is. They said it's critical condition, but you don't get a lot of details on these type of situations. So I hope it's not as bad as we're imagining that it is. Now, this story really got my attention because I don't know if you guys know what I do for work normally, but I drive around the city all day buying cars. It's a little bit different of a situation. I'm not buying cars of the value that this guy's buying, but it was on my radar of like, oh, this is real. This city's real. That's why when you guys see me out here in the streets, I'm not new to this. I've been doing this since I'm a little kid. I'm always around the streets. When you guys are like, oh, don't leave your car unlocked, whatever, don't leave it running. I know the areas that I can and can't, and that's why you see me interact with people. It's very casual for me when a lot of people come into these neighborhoods and, they feel a little bit intimidated. Now, not to say I feel totally safe in all these spots that I'm at, but I'm a little bit more comfortable than maybe the average person. And like I said, this story is very similar to what I do on a daily basis. So I just wanted to end the video with that. And I think that's pretty much everything I have to tell you about the situation. If anything big ends up happening, I'll either post it on Instagram or post it on the community on YouTube. And I'll let you guys know if he pulls through, if any new big developments, any sort of situation like that. So it's a few hours after I filmed that video, and word just came on the news that he unfortunately did pass away from his injury. Horrible situation. There's nothing really more to say. It's a terrible end to a terrible story. See you guys in the next one.